Hey guys, my name is Haley and today I'm going to be filming the mid-year book freakout tag, which is one of my favorite tags to do. I love doing it every year. I think I've done it twice. I might have only done it once, but I feel like I've done it twice. And I have piles of books next to me to answer these questions, so let's just get right on into it because I destroyed my bookshelves to be able to do this and hold the books up. The first question is the best book that you've read so far in 2018. This was a struggle, and I feel like I could have picked more, and I'm currently reading books that are probably gonna beat this one out or very close to it. But the one I went with was The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey, mainly because I've been looking for a really good zombie book for so long, and this one was exactly what I wanted, and I've never been able to find one, so I was just so pumped to be able to find a zombie book that I loved, so I went with this one. Next up is best sequel you've read so far this year, and I went with Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel because this was my favorite book in the Themis Files trilogy, and this is one of the craziest, most intense books I've ever read, and it's just far surpasses any of the other sequels that I've read so far. Next question is a new release that you want to read but have not gotten to yet, and that would be Lifelike by Jay Kristoff, because I haven't bought it yet because I'm literally in the middle of Jay Kristoff's Lotus War trilogy, and I really want to finish that before picking up his new book, even though I'm dying to read that one, but hopefully soon. Question number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that is Far and Above Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, because if you didn't know, Strange the Dreamer was my favorite book of last year, and the two other most anticipated releases that I had for this year both got pushed back, which were Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff and Dark Age by Pierce Brown, so Muse of Nightmares probably would have been the top one of those, but it also won by default because the other two aren't coming out till next year, so I need all of them. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment. Wow, okay, I have two right off the top of my head. The first being Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I thought I was gonna love that book. I've been wanting to read it for at least like 2 years, and I've heard nothing but rave reviews about it. I ended up DNFing it at 49%, which is really far in for me to DNF a book, but I was actually hating it that much. So yeah, that's definitely one of my biggest disappointments of life, let alone of this year. And then another one is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, because I thought I was really gonna love this, and I just didn't. And I feel like people don't talk about the reasons why I didn't like this. And it upsets me because everybody gives it at least 4 stars and I could barely give it 3. So yeah, this was a huge disappointment. Next is the biggest surprise. I have 2 answers for that. The first being Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. I had no clue what this is about. This was actually in my unhaul video that I did like a couple weeks ago, and I was like prepared to get rid of it. And then Kate told me that this is one of her favorite books of all time, and I had no clue what it was about, other than I assumed circus because that's what's on the cover. I tabbed it. I read it so fast, like in like 2 days. And I can't believe I almost unhauled this. What was I thinking? Why did you guys let me do that? Thank you, Kate, for not letting me unhaul it. And then another answer for that, for the biggest surprise, because I thought it was just going to be mediocre, but I ended up loving the series and loving it more and more as it went on, which is not normally the case, and especially trilogies for me. I normally like the first book the best, but this series got better with each book, and that is The Kiss of Deception trilogy by Mary E. Pearson, which, like, I binge read these. I didn't even own all of them. I had to buy them like as I was finishing them from Amazon, which thank God for Amazon Prime that I was able to do that, but this was a huge surprise for me. Next is favorite new author, and that would definitely be Sylvain Neuvel, who wrote the Themis Files. I binge read all 3 of them this year right before Only Human came out, and I've never had so much fun binging a trilogy. It was fantastic. I can't wait to read anything he comes out with next. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush. And I don't really get those. And none of the books I've read this year have even really... I don't have one. I don't have an answer for this. I'm 25. I'm too old. Number 9 is Newest Fictional Character. And I honestly had to go with Born from Born, because I fell in love with him as this weird creature that he was. I loved this book, but I especially loved it because of Born. Next is Book That Made You Cry. This isn't even a book I gave 5 stars to, which I normally do in books that make me cry a lot, but I'm gonna go with Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, because even though it wasn't my favorite book in the world, there were moments, like God moments, that definitely made me tear up, and it was really good. I gave this 4 stars, but I definitely got the feels from it. And another answer to that is the Dear Evan Hansen libretto, which really isn't a book, it's a play or a musical script. But this show is just heart-wrenching to me. It really tugs on my emotions, and I can't wait to see it in person, but I definitely cried several times while watching this, while reading this, because I listened to it alongside with the soundtrack, and I literally had a cry count going on Goodreads, so... Next is A Book That Made You Happy, and I'm gonna have to go with Obsidio. I love this trilogy. This is not at all my favorite book in the trilogy, but I love these characters. I love the world that Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, like, presented to us in this, and I was so happy to get this book when it came in, and I binge read it really fast, so this definitely made me happy, even though it's kind of sad. Next up is your favorite book to film adaptation. I don't think I've seen a single book to film adaptation this year. So I decided to change the question to something I really want to talk about. And that is the movie A Quiet Place. It's a thriller movie that came out this year with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. And I like to compare it to Bird Box, but millions and millions times better than Bird Box, and it did Bird Box better than Bird Box did. It's the same sort of concept except the opposite. Like, Bird Box is about a thing outside that when people see it they go crazy, but in A Quiet Place there are things outside that if you make any noise whatsoever they hear you and they kill you. So it was a great movie. It's very, very, very stressful to watch, so if you have like an anxiety disorder, I wouldn't recommend unless you go in knowing it's going to be a little bit stressful to watch, because a lot of the movie is dead silent, which makes the theater dead silent, so fair warning for that, but the movie is amazing. Question number 13 is favorite video that you've done this year. I think I really like my reading vlogs, even though they really don't get nearly as many views as my other videos. I like doing them, I like filming them. But also, I really, really like that I did my favorite Christian books of 2017, because I've always wanted to do like extra Christian videos and I just never do them for some reason. I also just really like the way that my thoughts came out, like, verbally in that video, so I'm really proud of that one. Next is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. And I actually don't have that many. I did get like most of the Themis files and I really love those covers. But I decided to go with 2 books that I just got, and they're not even like overly gorgeous covers. I just personally really like them. One being The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. This cover is so simple, but something about it I really love. Like, I don't know if it's like the almost pen drawing of the title or the splash of colors, I have no idea, but I really like this cover, and I like specifically searched this one out to put on my birthday book wish list, and my friend got it for me, so I'm very happy to have this. And then another is The Poppy War. I don't really know why I love this cover, but it's very, very pretty, and I really like how simple it is. So yeah, those are my 2 favorite covers I think that I've received this year. And the last question is, what books do you want to get to before the end of the year? Honestly, all of them, as per usual. But for specifics, at least most of Sanderson's novels that I still have, like the Stormlight Archives and the Second Era Mistborn. But for like really specific ones that I just need to read this year, one being Three Souls by Janny Chang. This is Kate's favorite book. I've been wanting to read it for quite a while and I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I think I will get to this one pretty soon. Next being The Fate of the Tearling, which I still haven't read. And I don't understand because I adore this trilogy. It's one of my favorite trilogies of all time, but I haven't read the last book, and I think it's because I really should reread the first two because it's been so long since I read them. But they're so big, so I don't know if the rereading's gonna happen. But I will finish this year. I'm making myself do it. And then last, off the top of my head, would be Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, because same case with Fate of the Tearling. I really need to reread Truthridge in order to read this, but I don't want to because I have so many books to read, so rereading seems very counterproductive right now. This is gonna be fun. I feel like disaster is about to happen. But yes, that was the mid-year book freakout tag. These are some of the books that I've read so far this year that I've really liked or really hated. But thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.